This is the beginning of a $70,000 pizza. I just bought this house and I'm literally selling it for $1. Anything you can fit in this circle, I'll pay for.
This is $500,000 in cash, and whichever one of them I tag last keeps it. I am going to spend the next 24 hours in this house made 100% of ice.
This is a never-ending giant mountain of cash.
This is the most expensive firework in the entire world.
MrBeast spends $40 million a year on his videos, and that might not be the biggest surprise. I mean, just look at some of his titles. First to rob a bank wins $100,000, extreme $500,000 tag, and if you can carry $1 million, you can keep it. But despite that, that still puts him miles ahead of any of his competition in terms of the kind of investment they are putting into their videos. But why does he do it? How can he afford it? And how can someone, maybe you, achieve what he has done in the past 4 years? Well, to answer any of those, we have to know who is MrBeast. MrBeast, also known as Jimmy, is a YouTuber whose content has been nothing short of viral for the past 4 years. He started off with videos that he made in his bedroom talking to a camera, but he started gaining traction on his videos when he would do long repetitive tasks for hours on end, such as saying Logan Paul 100,000 times, which took 17 hours, or watching It's Everyday Bro for 10 hours, which took 10 hours. It was in the title. Together, they have over 42 million views. Wow. Clearly, repetitive tasks weren't what Jimmy wanted to do on his YouTube, as his first breakthrough video was donating $10,000 to a homeless man, which went on to set the stage for what his content would look like in the future. Giving money in different ways quickly became what his channel was orientated around, and he said that pretty much all the money that he earned in those early days was put straight back into funding the next video, and that's how he could afford the content. Nowadays, MrBeast's channel looks very similar on the surface. Videos with challenges in, and usually an amount of money up for grabs. Just a lot more money now than he used to use. But deeper down, a lot has changed from his early days. In efforts to constantly improve and better his content, MrBeast has created a space where he can create anything he wants. A huge warehouse best featured so far in his $500,000 Last to Leave the Circle challenge earlier this month. He's also been creating sets for his videos, well, not him, but his team. Most notably, in his latest video, First to Rob a Bank wins $100,000, where a handful of studio rooms were set up with individual challenges in each one. But then he also has his team on camera, consisting mostly of Chris, Carl, and Chandler. Back in the early days of his videos, he was a little bit awkward, so I say that he likely brought in friends to fill up the videos and remove any awkwardness. Now this is branched out, and each of the members have done well within their own rights, most notably Carl Jacobs, who started as a cameraman on the Mr. Bro channel, the channel run by MrBeast's brother, but after Jake the Viking left the channel, Carl was seen more on the main channel in front of the camera until he became a main member of the cast. From that, he's built a successful streaming career, gaining 2.5 million followers on Twitch. But how does the MrBeast channel make so much? Well, the whole operation is based around his videos. To put it simply, 500 million views a month pays well. Not to mention, it's very likely his channel is in the YouTube's preferred set of channels, which means he's paid higher by YouTube than others due to the fact that they know he will make clean content that they would love to show on their front page. Channels on this program have been said to get up to $40 per 1,000 views, so with this, it's likely he's getting paid above $10 million a month from YouTube. But YouTube definitely isn't his only income stream. Most, if not all of his videos are sponsored, and I can only speculate how much he's getting from these sponsors, but I can assure you they are not under 6 digits. He also sells merch, and with an audience largely made up of kids, this will be selling. In 2020, he made a video where he said he would sign limited editions of shirts that were bought on his store in the next few days, and he ended up getting 68,337 orders. The current price of a normal shirt on his store is around $31 excluding shipping, which adds up to a little under $2.2 million. Now obviously, this is not all profits as he has the expense of having the clothes made and the staffing, but you get the idea of how much can be sold on that website. MrBeast isn't his only channel either. MrBeast Gaming gets a further 170 million views a month, MrBeast Reacts is getting 100 million a month, and MrBeast Shorts is getting 60 million views a month. However, Shorts aren't paid the same amount as a normal video on YouTube. So, he has a lot of income streams from his channel. But he also has other business ventures, the most known being MrBeast Burgers, which is a burger chain restaurant he opened earlier this year. The business model for this isn't like a normal restaurant, no, it uses a concept called ghost kitchens, which is a building that has a kitchen in, but no place for customers. Essentially, it's all online with deliveries instead of sitting down at a MrBeast burger restaurant. He also uploads all of his videos onto multiple platforms, such as Facebook, Snapchat, with the help of JellySmack, a company that distributes many famous channels' content to alternative platforms. His videos on Facebook are pulling in millions of views too, which all adds to his income. He's also recently started uploading all of his videos on the multiple channels in different languages. He does this by paying voice actors to dub over his content into another language, which opens his potential audience even more. Now, you might be thinking, why? Why does he spend so much money? Why not just spend less? Surely people will still watch it and he gets to keep all the money he amasses. Well, for Jimmy, it's not about that. He said that he doesn't care about the money. And sure, every YouTuber says that. But with him, I actually believe it. Just look at the amount that he puts into his videos. Do you think anyone would care if a challenge paid $100,000 or $500,000? Well, MrBeast definitely seems to think so. He built his channel off of the idea that if he invests more back into his videos, they will do better. And the number in the video changes everything. In his first video where he gives away money to a homeless man, his sponsor for that video wanted to pay $8,000. Jimmy fought for $10,000. And whilst any other channel would be doing this so they get some extra cash, he did it so his title looked better, so he knew it would get more views. From an early point in his video creation, he knew that a rounded number would attract more viewers. That's why you'll never see him upload a video with a title like "First to press the button wins $218,000." Even though I imagine if he did it, he would get tens of million views anyway. But his philosophy paid off. His mum said that she was confused why he didn't keep a percentage, and she said that she was worried in the early days when he had earned so much from one video and then would spend it all in the next one. She was worried that if it stopped, he would have been left with nothing. But he wasn't. He knew that he wanted to invest in his channel. However, that is not a surefire way to success. Many channels upload with titles that have a cash amount in them. For example, the Sidemen rarely see an increase in views if they say 10,000 or 100,000. So it's clearly not just about a large number in the title, but it's about building tension. In his recent video $500,000 Ultimate Tag, that video wouldn't have felt nearly as intense if it was the same 10 or 50,000 he was doing 3 years ago. So maybe that's the real reason he spends so much on each video, the need to top his old videos to keep an audience interested. But is that sustainable? Well, he can only get so many viewers. There's a limited amount of people who use YouTube, and even more limits to who are likely to watch his videos or speak his language. So maybe we'll never see him making videos where he's giving 1 million on every video, as it's just not feasible. Now, if you've watched this whole video and you want his success, here's the quick answer. You can't. I mean, the odds are stacked against you, you don't have the money to fund doing it, and people will just call you a knockoff MrBeast anyway. But that answer is no fun. And I said the odds are stacked against you, not impossible. But the first thing you are going to have to do is acquire funding. Now, maybe you already have it because you're the son or daughter of some obscure Russian oligarch, or maybe you've earned it through some definitely legal means and want to spend it. Well, your first port of call is having a following. If you remember back to the start of the video, Jimmy didn't just start by throwing $10,000 at the closest person and hoping it got views. Actually, if you go back and look at his channel, he has a lot of videos posted before he even got any following. He also has a lot of different attempts at viral videos like life hacks. Yeah. Okay, so now you've got your money and your following and you want to give it a shot. Well, you've got a lot to compete with. MrBeast and other channels are getting better titles than $10,000. So you're going to have to make who you're giving it to or how they're getting it a lot more interesting than what they're doing. Now, whilst I would love to show you my list of videos that will get millions of views and #1 on the trending page for a week, I lost it. So you'll have to get creative on your own. But analyze other channels and see what they're doing. Your thumbnail and title are just as important as the content, because if people don't click on it, how are they going to enjoy the video? Now you've made your video, you spent $10,000 by giving it to a baby who didn't know what to do with it, but either way, it's got 5 million views. Pretty good going. And by luck, it's also made more than it cost. Let's say $13,000. Well, get thinking again, because you need another idea and quick. You don't want the hype to die around about your last video. But also, don't use the 13,000. Remember rounded titles, so save 3,000 until you can get to 20,000. Rinse and repeat for 3 years until you're either bankrupt or MrBeast. Oh, and disclaimer, I don't claim any responsibility for you going bankrupt following my advice. I don't have 60 million subscribers, why were you listening to me? Well, that is it for that video. I hope you now understand more about MrBeast and why he spends $40 million a year on his videos. If you want to see more videos about how YouTube and the economics behind YouTube works, check out this video. But other than that, I will see you next time.